What?
Boss wants to see you. Says it's important.
Fine. Tell him I'll be up in a few minutes.
Who is that?
Mrs. Grundy, come to tell us the party's over.
Oh, forget that noise. Just come back to bed.
Afraid I can't. I'm not in the habit of ignoring orders from upstairs.
Fine. You're lost. Aren't you forgetting something? Or is your boss letting you go to work in your skivvies now?
Oh, right.
Will you be long, handsome?
Not to worry, sweetheart. I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Why don't you go ahead and freshen up for when I get back?
Yes, sir.
Glad you could step away from the broads and booze long enough to come see me.
Are you gonna give me a hard time, or are you gonna tell me what needs to be done?
Hey, easy now. No need to throw an ing-bang over there. Here's the problem. I've been hearing about some chump out in the swamp brewing his own moonshine and trying to compete with me. The day some classless redneck pulls one over on Fatty Walsh is the day I die. I need you to go out there, find his shack, and sabotage his operation.
The Everglades are huge. How am I supposed to find one shack in the middle of all that swampland?
You'll find a way. There's a camp of prospectors settled near the start of the Tamiami Trail. They'll probably know a thing or two.
Right. I'll take care of it.
Oh, and before you go, take this. It can be pretty hairy out there, so if you run into any trouble, you won't be left high and dry.
Finally seeing fit to give me my own gun, huh?
It's been long enough. You've earned it. Now get out there and see what you can find.
Could I borrow your machete?
Can't imagine a fancy suit like yourself using one of these. Go ahead. It'll be fun to watch.
Hello, sir.
What do you want, city boy?
What exactly are you doing out here?
Trying to find something of value. This land's been worthless since the hurricane in '26, but it might be good for farming. Haven't had too much luck so far.
Anything I should know about the Everglades?
Well, it's full of critters that just love to take a bite out of your fancy suit. I wouldn't stray too far from here unless you've got good reason to.
You seem like a man who's seen a fair bit. Do you know of any moonshine runners set up out here?
Moonshine? I never touch the stuff myself. You got the wrong person if you're looking for it.
It's not quite like that. Let's just say I'm looking for one particular individual for other reasons.
Well, now, I ain't gonna ask too many questions, 'cause you city folk don't bring nothing but trouble. But I can tell you the surest way to find a moonshine runner is to follow the smoke.
Smoke?
Sure. The stills let up an awful lot of smoke. They try and hide it so the law won't catch them, see? But they usually leave some sort of instructions on how to find them as a backup. Matter of fact, I found this old piece of paper behind a tree the other day. Maybe it'll come in useful to you.
I see. Thanks for the information. I'll be going now.
Go on, get.
out of here!
Found you. Doesn't seem like that's too far away. As long as I can keep that direction, I should be able to make it there before nightfall. Don't go in there!
What? Who's there? You got no business here. Get away before I pump you full of lead.
Cut it out, you stupid chump! The place is gonna blow!
Get bent. You're gonna be sorry when I come back out here.
No, you idiot!
So it's done? You put him out of business?
Yes, it's done. He won't be a problem anymore.
You rubbed him out, huh?
I didn't mean to, but yes.
I like your style. Didn't have you pinned for a button man.
It was an accident, I swear! How was I supposed to know he'd come back when the stills were rigged to blow?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I killed a man.
You get used to it. It's all part of the business.
Well, maybe I don't want to get used to it. In fact, maybe I don't want to be part of this business anymore.
Look, you're upset. I get it. It ain't easy bumping someone off. I was pretty upset my first time too. But get that don't want to be a part of it baloney out of your head. You ain't going anywhere. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, that's more like it. Look, I'm having a big party tonight. Come by, have a few drinks, take your mind off things.
All right, maybe I will.
Good. I got an especially big job for you tomorrow, so let's celebrate tonight and discuss the particulars in the morning. See you later, kid.
Mobsters, real estate agents. What's the difference anyway? This ends tonight, fatty. I'll make you see reason one way or another. I might not get out of this alive, but I sure as hell can't keep living like this. Excuse me.
How may I help you, sir?
I'll let you get back to work.
Yes, sir.
What's the occasion for this party anyway?
I think it's one of his girl's birthdays or something. You know, Fatty. He'll throw a party just because he had a particularly pleasing bowel movement. First time in a while he's come out to mingle with the guests, though. Must be feeling pretty good.
So, they've got you guarding the party, huh?
Beats having to go and get my suit dirty out in the swamp.
Keep up the good work, Butch.
Hold on there, Alfie. You know the rules. I gotta search you.
Fine, but make it quick.
Can't let you in carrying a piece, Alfie. You know how the boss is. If you want to come in, you're gonna have to hand it over.
Fine. Here.
Okay, you're clear. Go ahead.
So, who's winning? Keep up the good work, fella. Some party, huh? My gun, please.
Here you go.
Why aren't I allowed inside with my gun?
Increased security. Fatty's in the main room tonight, so nobody comes in with a piece.
What's he so worried about?
Guy like Fatty's got lots of enemies, especially after that business with Rothstein last year. I'm sure you can live without it for a couple of hours.
Keep up the good work, Butch. Keep up the good...
Hold on,
But I...
does it? Can't let you in if you want.
Fine.
Okay, you're clear. Go ahead.
Mr. Walsh?
Make it snappy, kid. I got a lot riding on black.
Some party.
Thanks, kid. Glad you're enjoying yourself. Of course, things would be a lot better if that damn delivery would get here already. I'm starting to get impatient.
You mentioned a delivery?
Yeah, that's right, from the bakery. You know, the one the old bag used to run? They're supposed to be sending a cake, but it ain't here yet. Come to think of it, could you be a lamb and go check on it for me?
I'm not your errand boy, Mr. Walsh. Maybe you should ask someone else.
Actually, I think you'll find you are. So get to it.
Mr. Walsh, we need to talk.
Not now, kid, I'm busy.
No, you're gonna listen to me now.
No, I'm gonna put 5 on red now. Now get out of my face before I get ticked off.
Never mind. My gun, please.
Here you go.
Excuse me.
How may I help you?
I'll let you get back.
Yes, sir.
Everything good with you?
Good enough.
Glad to hear it. Louie!
Alfie!
How'd you wind up getting this gig?
Fatty said I looked the part. Never trust a skinny baker, he said.
I guess you can't really argue with that logic. The apron really suits you.
Thanks.
So, Fatty kept this place going as a bakery?
Yeah, can't say I blame him, though. It's a good side business, nice for laundering, you know?
Not to mention always having sweets available.
Now you're starting to understand.
I hear there's supposed to be a cake delivery to the Biltmore tonight.
That's right, for Fatty's party. Al's in the back putting the finishing touches on it. But then, he's been doing that for hours. He's obsessed with getting it just right. I had no idea he was this high-strung. I just hope he gets it done in time, or we're all gonna get it.
Take it easy.
You too.
Hey, Al. How's it going?
Thanks. I haven't got time to chat right now. I need to have this cake absolutely perfect by tonight or there's gonna be hell to pay.
How's it going?
Thanks. You poisoned me, didn't you?
What? Don't be ridiculous. I think you're just working too hard.
Shh. Stop talking so loud.
Louie!
Al,
Take it easy.
you too.
Hey, Al.
Thanks. I haven't got time to. I need to have this cake absolutely.
Hey, Al.
Thanks.
What? Shh. Hey, Al. What? Shh. Hey, Al.
Thanks.
What? Shh. Excuse me.
How may I help?
I'll let.
Yes.
Hold on there. Okay, you're clear. Go ahead.
Mr. Walsh?
Make it snappy, kid. I got.
Never mind.
Boss, big trouble. The coppers are on their way. Someone tipped them off and they're coming to raid us.
Wouldn't you just know it, and right during a winning streak, too? Okay, you know the drill. Flip the switches and clear everyone out. Party's over, folks. Everybody kindly scram.
Oh, boss, there's just one more thing.
Yeah?
What the hell was that?
He had it coming. Some of the guys up north felt he was getting too big for his britches, so I got the order to cut him down.
So what happens to us now that Fatty's gone? Who's in charge, I mean?
Sorry to bust your bubble, but it ain't you. They'll send someone else from up north in the next couple of days. That's how this works.
So much for loyalty.
Don't give me that crap, Banks. You've been doing this long enough to know that it's all about knowing your place and doing what you're told.
So that story about the police coming was just a distraction?
Oh, no, they're coming all right. They need to find the bodies so this makes the news. Now, enough standing around.
Butch, wait.
Huh?
You're just gonna leave? What am I supposed to do?
Oh, yeah, about that. The coppers are gonna need someone to pin this on. I'm sorry to say, you drew the short straw, kid. No hard feelings, huh? Oh, I'm locking the elevator behind me, so don't bother trying to follow.
What? How can you just... I better figure out another way out of here. And fast.
Banks, over here. Easy there, fellas. Let this guy through. He's with me. Is what they're saying true? Fatty Walsh is dead?
I think I'd prefer to plead the fifth on that one, Miss Douglas.
It's not exactly a secret that you were working for him.
Maybe not, but I've realized it's time for another career change.
Well, I'm afraid you're out of luck if you were planning on going back to Coral Gables. Our friend, George Merrick, got ousted from the city commission last June. Just as well, really. I was starting to get sick of writing all that bait-and-hook baloney. There's a new mayor, too. Dammers had some medical issue and went back up north.
Is that so?
In any case, the boom's over. It's all gone bust now. Fact is, the whole world is changing.
Yes, I'm beginning to get that impression.
So what's next for you? Aside from dodging the police, that is.
I'm not sure. but I'll try and figure something out. Good night, Miss Douglas. And thanks. I guess I owe you one.
Don't mention it. Good night, Mr. Banks, and good luck. Something tells me we're all going to be needing quite a lot of it very soon.
Another round for you, Bill? Sure, why not? Ever since they started letting us drink again, I just can't say no. So, has the old sad sack been in tonight?
Not yet, but it's coming up on 9. He should be here any minute.
You know, he may be a real son of a bitch, but I can't help but feel sorry for him.
Well, I don't. Plenty of people are hurting these days. A whole bunch are way worse off than him. I'll take those poor folks in the Dust Bowl, for example. Anyway, just because he used to be a real estate big shot doesn't give him the excuse to be disagreeable. But hey, as long as he pays and keeps to himself, I have no quarrel with him.
Maybe I can get him going tonight and see if we can finally find out if he was really working for the mob.
Well, speak of the devil. Good evening, Mr. Banks. What'll it be tonight?
Gin and tonic. And go easy on the tonic.
Yes, sir. Will this be on your tab?
It is every other night. Why should tonight be any different?
Here you are, sir.
Say, you got a light, pal? Thanks, buddy.
Have I got horns coming out of my forehead or something?
No, sir.
Then why are you staring at me like I do?
You used to work in real estate, didn't you?
I don't see how that's any of your business, friend.
Well, it becomes my business when you talk about it loudly enough to be heard from the outside. But really, I'm more curious about what happened afterwards. Is it true you were working for Fatty Walsh?
You really are a blue nose, aren't you? If I were you, I'd stop asking those sorts of questions before things get unpleasant.
Oh, is that a threat? This is exciting. Are you threatening me?
Bill, knock it off.
Does this answer your question? Oh, my head. Well, I suppose I've woken up in worse spots than this before. What's that over there on the wall? Gables. The Golden Galleon. Huh. The days when I was an upstart kid who was gonna make something of himself and restore the family name. Look where that got me. Forget it. Life's too short to hold grudges. After all, if it hadn't been for Merrick, I'd probably be panhandling in Bryant Park right now. Might as well go see how the old bird is doing these days. Can't possibly be worse off than me. This place hasn't changed one bit. At least something from the old days is still around.
Alfie Banks? What on earth are you doing here?
Mrs. Merrick, I know it's been a while, and I'm sorry.
10 years is much more than a while in my book, young man. In any case, I'm afraid you've picked a bad time to call.
What's the matter?
It's George, that stubborn fool. He's gonna get himself killed.
Killed? How?
You mean you haven't heard?
There's a hurricane coming. They're saying it might be as bad as the one in 26. It's set to pass through the Keys tomorrow afternoon.
So, why hasn't anyone prepared here?
Because it's not expected to come this far north.
Then there's something I'm not understanding. How exactly is George in danger?
We've been living down in Matacumbe Key for the past few years. George opened up a fishing club, and we've been running it together ever since he was ousted from the city commission. When he heard the hurricane was coming, he sent me up here and refused to budge. He said he wasn't going to let his dream die twice.
That's crazy! We have to get him out of there!
I'm afraid there isn't much that can be done. They've stopped all the trains going south.
There has to be a way. Don't worry, ladies. I'll get George back here safely. I owe him that much at least.
Please be careful, Alfie.
And good luck.
Begging your pardon, sir.
What can I do for you?
Didn't you used to be a guard at the Dinner Key Marina?
Yes, I did. Until I got fired for letting some jerk steal a part from a hydroplane. Took me years to be able to convince anyone to hire me back.
Oh, sorry to hear that. When does the next train leave?
It doesn't.
What?
Well, haven't you heard? There's a hurricane set to strike the Keys.
Yes, I have actually.
Well, then you should know that all the trains have been canceled.
You don't understand. It's of the utmost importance that I get down to the Keys.
I do understand, and I'm afraid you're out of luck, friend. There's only one train going down there, and it's not for passengers.
Why not?
Because it's being sent to evacuate the WPA construction workers who haven't left yet. If you need to take a fishing trip, I suggest you wait a few days.
There's something important we need to discuss.
Is there? Do tell.
Look, friend, it's extremely important I get on that train. I have official business in the Keys, and I need to get down there as soon as possible.
Official business? Who would schedule anything with a hurricane about to strike?
You'd be surprised. Some of us can't get a break.
Well, I hear you there. My bosses have been giving me nothing but a hard time for years. But I still don't see why I should let you on this train.
A man might die if I don't go down and save him. Can you really live with that on your conscience?
And if I let you go down there, you might get yourself killed too. And then I'd have 2 deaths on my conscience. So unless you give me an extraordinary reason, you're not getting on this train.
I need to save George Merrick. He's in danger.
Merrick? The Coral Gables guy? What's he doing down there?
He's been running a fishing club, but he's insisted on staying behind. Please, you don't know him like I do. He's very stubborn and passionate. If I don't go down there, he won't budge and he'll probably die.
Well, fine. I don't know why I'm doing this, but go ahead and get on. But if anyone asks, you don't tell them I let you on board.
Deal. can't see a thing. We should be well on our way. Now I just need to find a way out of this car. The storm seems to have made landfall already. Horse feathers! Sticking around back here probably isn't the best idea. I should head towards the front of the train.
What? Who are you? What are you doing on this train?
The name's Banks. I snuck on board because I need to get to the Keys.
You're crazy. What were you thinking?
I thought this train was meant to be taking supplies down there.
It was, but the people who sent it underestimated the power of the storm. We're only going forward because there's no way to turn back. The train is already starting to come apart. You're lucky it came up here when you did. I was just about to detach the locomotive.
But why?
Because if even one car gets blown off the tracks, the rest of the train will too. It's not worth... Damn it! I was afraid this would happen. If we don't equalize the pressure in this car, in the next few minutes it'll come apart. Help me get one of these windows open, would ya? No time for... Good going, Banks. Now let's get to the locomotive so we can detach the train. Otherwise, we'll be swept off the tracks along with the rest of it.
The wind seemed to have died down slightly. We must be entering the eye of the storm. Or maybe not. I'd better find George. There isn't much time. George, open this door right now!
Alfie Banks? I have to admit, you were the last person I expected to see walking through that door. What brings you to my little club?
I came to get you, George. In case you weren't aware, there's a huge hurricane on its way.
I am well aware, yes. In fact, I sent Eunice away because of it.
I know. She's the one who told me where I could find you.
I see. I have to confess I don't fully understand why you've come. But as long as you're here, go ahead and have a seat.
I haven't got time to talk. We have to leave.
I insist. Besides, I'm not going anywhere.
George?
Yes?
I know we didn't part on the best of terms the last time we saw each other. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I was young and stupid. I thought the world owed me.
Apology accepted, Alfie. We've all been there. So, now that we've got that out of the way, what else is on your mind?
So, what have you been doing with yourself the past few years?
Well, I'm sure you heard about the bust. Coral Gables went bankrupt, and I was forced to step down from the commission. I always enjoyed it down here in the Keys, and Eunice's family just happened to own this property, so we came down here and opened up the fishing club. It's been a much quieter life than I'm used to, but I can't complain. I suppose I had my time to shine.
Couldn't the others have done something for you? What about Doc?
I assume you didn't hear that Doc passed away 5 years ago.
No, I didn't. Huh. Did you know this hurricane was coming?
I had heard, yes. The weatherman had been talking about it on the radio the past few days. They seem to take them a bit more seriously down here in the Keys.
Why haven't you evacuated?
Ever heard the old saying, the captain always goes down with his ship? I never abandoned Coral Gables. I see no reason why I should abandon the Caribbean Club.
Coral Gables was lucky. It didn't get the worst of the hurricane in 26. You're right in the path of this one.
That may be, but I think I've taken sufficient precautions.
George, we need to leave. Isn't there any way I can convince you?
You did a pretty good job of convincing plenty of other people in the old days. I'm not opposed to hearing what you have to say. So, Alfie, why is it so important we go back?
Coral Gables needs you back, George. It's just not the same without you.
Well, I hardly think that's true. Coral Gables has been fine without me the past few years. We had our moment in the sun. It's time for a new generation to take over.
You know, you're right. We had our time, but we're just relics of a bygone era now.
I didn't mean it like that, Alfie. You know that's not the attitude I like. If we're just going to sit around moping about the past, I think it would be best to discuss something else.
George?
Yes?
George, please, listen to me. We have to get out of here.
So you say, but I have yet to see any... So, Alfie, what...
Your mother is terribly ill. I came to tell you. I don't think she's going to make it. You need to come back to Miami as soon as possible.
Alfie, please. I watched you sell countless plots of lands and houses to people for years. Do you think I can't tell when you're lying? If this is what you came for, I think we should turn our attention to more.
George?
Yes?
George!
So
because if we don't get out of here, this storm will kill us both.
The storm is passing through right now, yes, but we're safe in here. I've taken all the necessary precautions. Besides, if things get too rough, there's an underground shelter just outside we can stay in.
But...
Don't you worry. We'll be fine. Let's discuss something else, please.
George?
Yeah?
George!
So, Alfie...
Coral Gables...
I hardly think that's true. Coral Gables has been fine without me the past few years. We had our moment in the sun. It's time for a new generation to take over.
There's still so much left to do in Coral Gables. You can't just give up now.
Oh, really? This is an interesting change of attitude. Didn't you give up on Coral Gables when you decided to work for Tom Walsh?
I wasn't giving up on Coral Gables. I was giving up on you.
Of course. We've already covered this ground. No need to rub salt any further into the wound. Let's keep things civil and discuss something else, shall we?
George?
Yeah?
George! Coral Gables...
We had our...
No! The new... They need you there to make sure that...
Have some faith, Al. If you're going to continue with that...
George?
Yes?
George!
So, Alfie...
Coral Gables...
We had our...
There's still so much...
Oh, really? Didn't you give up on Coral Gables?
I saw the way things were headed and decided to go for a more lucrative opportunity.
For which I can hardly blame you, but I just wish you hadn't jumped ship so soon.
What else was I supposed to do? Drown with the rats? I don't share your optimism, George. I still can't understand how you never felt tempted to just give up yourself.
Who says I didn't? Do you think you're the only one who saw what was going on? The Depression came to Coral Gables years before the rest of the country. There were days when I thought about packing it all in. I knew when the bubble had burst, but I worked too hard to just give everything up. I stayed until they threw me out.
I didn't know that. I thought you were just naive.
We all have our bad days, Alfie. Sometimes it's bad weeks or even months. But what's important above all else is sticking to your principles.
You're right, George. I don't know how I could have been so rash in my decision. I'm an idiot.
Now, Alfie, don't be so hard on yourself. The fact that you're here now says volumes. But really, let's discuss something else. No need to be so down in the dump.
George?
Yeah?
George!
So Alfie...
Coral Gables...
We had our...
There's still...
Didn't you...
I saw...
For which I could...
What else? I still...
Who says I didn't? The Depression came to Coral Gables. I knew... We all have...
Are your principles worth getting killed over?
Are we back to this again? I told you we're perfectly safe here. In any case, let's...
George?
Yes?
George!
So Alfie...
Coral Gables...
We had...
There's still...
Didn't you... For which I could...
What else? I still...
Who says I... The Depression... I knew when the... We all have...
I understand what you're saying, George, but times have changed. Principles are important, surely, but the Depression and lack of money is all anyone thinks about. You made the city beautiful, sparing no expense, making it all about the aesthetics. But think about the value of that city in the current economic climate. Someone in charge wouldn't think twice about tearing down the Biltmore to sell the land if it meant a profit.
And all the work we did, all the sacrifices people made would have meant nothing. I hadn't even considered that possibility. I can't in good conscience allow something like that to happen. It seems living down here all these years has made me a bit out of touch. All right, Alfie. As soon as this storm passes, we'll take the first train back to Miami so I can assess the situation myself. Thank you for helping me see things a bit more clearly.
I think I'm the one who should be thanking you for that, George.
Right. Let's get a move on.
We should be careful. It sounds like the storm has gotten stronger. George, this building is coming apart. We haven't got any time to lose. We need to get someplace safer.
When we get out there, we need to head directly for the shelter south of here. Just follow me, and we'll be there in no time.
Right behind you.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we remember a very special man whose life was unfortunately cut short. Alfie Banks was someone who wasn't afraid to speak his mind. In fact, he certainly gave me a piece of it one of the last times I spoke with him. However, at heart, he was a kind soul. Alfie cared about the well-being of others, even if they wronged him, and that takes class. Alfie didn't need to apologize to me for the falling out we had so many years ago, but he did. And that meant more to me than anyone could ever know. In the time I knew and worked with him, Alfie always showed an immense amount of initiative, which makes it no surprise that he achieved as much as he did. Despite harder times in his last few years, he showed in the end that he was a good man. I would not be here speaking to you right now if it weren't for him. Not only do I owe my life to him, but my livelihood as well. Though I may not have expressed it as clearly as I should have, Alfie was instrumental in the success of Coral Gables. I'm sure he knew that. And though he was taken from us far too soon, Alfie's legacy will live on in the streets and buildings of this city. Because, just like the galleon which came to be the symbol of Coral Gables, Alfie sailed through all our lives, leaving behind a golden wake.